Hello, welcome to the Flag Lair. Good afternoon. It is the 28th of November 2025. I'm Tareth Peacock, otherwise known as Mr. P. This is the Flag Lair. I'm coming to you live. It's just gone 12:45 GMT. Now, hang on, let's just do that. There we go. And where am I? So I was I could hear myself, which is obviously very, very complicated. Welcome. It's great to see you. Let's just make sure I know what I'm doing. Cool, excellent. So November, let's get this live chat and live stream up and running and rolling. Just a couple of things that I need to point out and just cover before we get rolling. First of all, where are we? Oh, now Mitta. Hi, Mitta. Yes. Hi, hello. First of all, if you want to get involved in the chat, by all means do so. That's what it's there for. It'd be great to get chatting. Hello, and say hi to everybody. So if you're here, do please get involved in the chat. We'll talk about anything you want to. I've got an agenda, which sounds rather boring, but I've got a list of things I want to cover today. But the chat is really open to you guys to whatever you want to cover. If there's also as we do every month, except last month, I'll come to that in a minute. As we do it every month, if you want to be a chance for winning your own flag, then by all means you need to get chatting in the chat group, because then it'll highlight who the top chatters are. But also there's a form at the top of the chat as well, just a consent form that I just need you guys to fill out as well, to say yes, you're happy for me to reach out to you and share addresses and all that other good stuff, so I can at least get a physical flag to you, of which we've had many winners in the past. So if you want to get involved, that's how you do it. So it's been a little while. Where are we? Yes, it's been a while. Gosh, there's a few of us here. Do please say hello in the chat. It's that's what it's there for. I just want to get a bit of interaction with you guys. Plenty to cover in this piece as well. I'd like to say hello to my father, who has just appeared. Hello, all the way from Thailand. So we're all planet, which reminds me, we must arrange a one-on-one of these types of things as opposed to a normal stream, which I'm conscious we didn't do in the month. Anyway, that's family business out the way. We'll park that one for the time being. The other thing I must say, I'm at home all day today. I am expecting a parcel, so the chances of that parcel arriving while I'm here have just increased massively, of course. Once I come off of Lager, so if I have to disappear for 30 seconds, treat it like a commercial break, what you would normally do, go to the loo, get a drink or whatever. Talking of drinks, I have a cup of tea, very British of me, but do remind me to keep drinking, because it will go cold, and there's nothing worse than cold tea, unless it's an iced tea. But I'm massively drifting off. Right, got loads to cover. Where are we? Chat, talk about anything regardless. Right, yes, okay, so let's move on. I need to talk about flags in 50 places. For those of you that have followed the channel over a number of years, will have seen that series progress. So I want to cover that and what replaces it. So plenty there, and everything connected to it. I've met a number of flag nerds, vexillologists, if we want to be formal. I want to cover some of those, because there's been some great connections over the past couple of months. And also one of them is a reason why there was no October live stream, so we'll come back to that shortly. And of course, finally, the big thing of today is, and it's hanging here quietly, we'll get it out later, which is the flag of Bedfordshire, which is my home county. It's also a home counties, but I'll cover that later. It's Bedfordshire Day today here in England, so I thought, what better day than this live stream coincides with that. We'll cover the flag of Bedfordshire, what it means, what it talks about, what it's trying to tell us, and also what it links to this particular flag here as well. But we'll cover all of that. So, as I said, get chatting in the chat. It's what it's there for, and it's there for you guys to get involved. And as I say, it doesn't have to be about anything that I'm covering, as long as it's flag related. Let's try and keep it close anyway. So let's just get rolling with where we are, because the Flag Lair is very chilly. We are in England, and it's hence the jumper and hot tea to get me going. Right. Hi. Okay. So as I said, chat, make sure you sign the consent form if you want to get involved, and all topics related. There are other ways to win flags, and I'll cover those shortly. But as I say, the more you chat there, the more likely it probably win a flag. As I say, we've had a number of people win that so far. So let's get rolling. Let's get talking. So let us know from wherever you are in the world, where you're from. We've got my dear old papa in Thailand at the moment. Mitty, you'll have to remind me whereabouts you're from again. I know you've said many times before, but uh, it's been a while. And the rest of you, yeah, just try and just say where you're from, what country. Don't need an address. Let's find out where you're from, because this is a flags is a global thing, obviously, because it covers all four corners of the world, which is great. So, talking of all over the world, the flags in 50 places, which is a series that I've been doing for well nearly 5 years now. Which is, for those of you who've missed it, it's basically whenever I'm particular location abroad, I will then do a video about their flag. Um, and I've actually reached now the 50th location. So that series has obviously come to a conclusion. I'm still editing last few episodes. I'm currently editing the Vatican episode at the moment, which was filmed just outside Italy in Rome, in a little conclave called the Vatican in there. So I'm editing that. That'll be out in December. And then there's a couple more to do, and then that will conclude that series. Uh, it's not all Europe. Mauritania a few months back. That was an interesting country. If you've not been, which probably most of you may not have been, but anyway, it's an interesting flag history, but also a more interesting country. Of course, northwestern Transylvania in Romania, of course. Yes, Romania. How could I forget? Brilliant. Thank you, Mitta. Yes, it'd be great to find out where the rest of you are from. Let's try and keep warm. Anyway, okay. Where was I? Oh, yes. So flags in 50 places. So yes, that's finished. So I've got a new series coming up, and the reason I wanted to talk about it briefly is what I've called "Around the World in 80 Flags." Um, so, which obviously is a play on a particular Phileas Fogg type of setup. And my father will probably tell me who wrote the original Around the World in 80 Days, because I can't quite remember. Was it the 80,000 Leagues Under the Sea? It's the same author, isn't it? Anyway, so I've started that series already because I've run out of 50 places. And the reason I wanted to mention Around the World in 80 Flags is because I've been talking to the lovely peeps at the UK's Flag Institute, and they've very kindly agreed that they will be, they will not sponsor the series, but they are in association with that particular series, which is fantastic to have their backing and behind that. And with that, and this is something else that I want to share with you guys as well. And with that, they've agreed that to arrange a 10% discount on membership to the UK Flag Institute for any new members, of which they've been working on for me. It's all set up, ready to go. I'm going to launch it properly in the new year, but not just for viewers around the world in 80 Flags, but also for you guys here as well. So in the new year, I'll start pushing and advertising how and you don't have to be in the UK to join them, a bit like NAVA in North America, and the myriad number of different flag associations around the world, of which, as I say, there are a lot of them. Jules Fern, thank you. Um, the so yes, the Flag Institute, you can become a member, and I will go through what that all means and what you get when you sign up. But yes, I've managed to get a 10% discount for new members, starting at the beginning of next year. So I shall share the link in all of those details in January's live stream. So any of you that are interested in joining the Flag Institute, maybe just hang on a little bit until after Christmas and in the new year, and you can get a 10% discount through me. I don't get anything financially out of it, but anyway, you get to pay a little bit less money than you normally would for your first year. As I say, I'll cover everything that you get with that. So thank you again for all the folks at the Flag Institute, Lee specifically, the chairman, um, who I've been dealing with on and off over the past few months to try and get that sorted. And it was great to see everybody at the York conference earlier this year, including um, Oscar, Oscar Pennefault, who designed this flag here. It's all the way from Sweden, and who did a presentation on his flag and what it means. So uh, that was hang on, was that was that my doorbell? Um, no, I can't see it now. I don't think it was. Anyway, where was I? Yes, Oscar, who's from Sweden and who was at the York conference. So it was great to meet him as well. So the point being, you don't have to be in the UK to be a member of the Flag Institute, which is great. Right, cup of tea again before I stop. Anyway, gosh, there's 13 of you here. Hello, welcome. Uh, just a quick shout to say, please join in on the chat. It's great to have so many of you here. Say hello, say hi. Just mention which country you're from. It'll be great to see how you're doing and where you're from, and see if maybe I've got a flag of yours potentially sat in the lair somewhere around here at some point. So yeah, it's one way to get involved and also potentially win a flag. I mean, it's potentially on the score. Right. Where did I get to? Flag Institute unboxing. Right. The other thing I wanted to just quickly cover, and I did mention it originally. Excuse me, it is very chilly in here. Right. As part of my travels for the new Around the World in 80 Flags, I have this particular flag which I have yet to unwrap, and I've been meaning to unwrap it. So I picked it up in the country that I was in. If anybody can actually guess what flag this potentially is, which I know I'm ripping off my um, one other comrades of flags with their fresh flags. Anyway, if anybody knows, let's turn this one around. What flag this potentially could be, then drop it in the comments. Let's see if we get anybody right on that one. So yeah, we've done a number of episodes already, and I've also got a new person involved in it as well, who I call a bit of a Charlie's Angels, which, to be fair, I never really watched the series because I'm obviously not old enough. Obviously, my father's not old enough to remember Charlie's Angels, but he is. But I'm trying to do Around the World in 80 Flags a little bit differently. I'll go into more when the series is ready to come out as well. But I've got another guy who I do want to sign up as one of the first people as part of this 10% discount. All linked in that. I'm rambling as well. Anyway, so let's just get this flag opened, of which it will be very crinkly. So let's just do this really quickly. I'll share this one with you, and just to get this one, because I don't happen to have this flag, which is, oh, that is the right way round. Look at that. It is the right way round. If I, yes, hold that one up here. This is the frilly version of Kosovo. That's the little country which sits at the bottom of Serbia. And I'm not going to go into the politics of it all of Kosovo and Serbia because, well, quite frankly, we just don't have enough time. Anyway, this is their flag, which is recognised by over 100 and some odd countries, just not everybody, and flies very proudly in the small map at the bottom there when you go and visit. We went to visit the capital, Pristina, for a few days last month. And while we were there, we also went to neighbouring North Macedonia while we were there, which is, again, another lovely part of the world. And so, yes, I picked up the Kosovo flag while we were there, which I was quite pleased of because I don't have it. I don't have any flags with frilly gold bits around the sides either, but there we go. Yes, yes, I knew, Papa, you'd remember Charlie's Angels and obviously the Angels themselves. Anyway, right, okay. Yes, Midder, it's a good design. Obviously, there's yes, in the ilk of Cyprus one with, well, that's back to front, isn't it? Anyway, of sticking maps on flags, which isn't a brilliant thing in my head, but it's maps on flags. Shouldn't be a thing, but Cyprus and Kosovo, I think it's the way forward there. And there we go. So, and there are only two national flags, I think, that have got maps on them. We don't include Antarctica because it's not a national flag, because Antarctica, if I remember rightly, is a continent. If I get anything wrong, please do call me out on any of this. That's absolutely. Tea's getting cold already, because you're not reminding me to drink. That's probably why. Okay, right. So that's my flag anyway, that I've picked up. That's my latest. I do have some more coming, hopefully next month towards the end. It's a bit of a gift swapping thing towards the end of next month for most, or for a lot of people anyway, not everyone. So I may have put down my Christmas wish list of a few extra flags. If you've got any flags on your wish list that you're hoping to get potentially at the end of next month, stick them in the chat. Let's see what we're potentially gaining as presents next year, or sorry, next month. Anyway, so that's Kosovo. So Kosovo is going to feature in a future episode of Around the World in 80 Flags. It's a very long worded title. I appreciate that. Rolls off the tongue. Not the best way. Anyway, that's that. So yes, Kosovo, Pristina. If you get a chance, do go and visit. But I would go for like a weekend. This is my place. Or even better, I would go to. Oh, now I'm going to get stuck. Go to Skopje, North Macedonia's capital, and probably do a day trip to Pristina. We did it the other way around. Had a lovely hotel, thankfully. But yes, if you want to go and visit Pristina, go to Skopje and do a day trip. There's plenty of them, and that's enough of my foreign affairs on there. Right, okay. People. So I've met a good number of vexillologists, flag nerds, over the past month or so. It's getting cold. Which I've some of them I've been waiting for, nearly 5 years to actually meet these people. One of them was Michael Green, who is the owner of Flags for Good, that many of you probably will know, heard of, over in the US. He makes flags which are good. So, and I've got a number of the flags that he sells. He doesn't sell all flags, just what he classes as good ones, which is the international flag of planet Earth earlier. He also did, I'll come back to that one in a minute. Oh, many others, of which I've got. I don't know where they all are now. But I've got some US ones. That's it. Some of the city flag of Phoenix, for example, and some of the other good state flags, which are hidden in the back here, that I bought from him as well. Anyway, so I got to him and I have sent odd one messages over the past few years, just commenting about various bits and pieces. But some of you may have seen, I did a video recently about the USA flag, which is this one here, and how it's been pulled very politically to the right in more recent years. And I wanted to get somebody else's viewpoint on it. And Michael seemed to be a good person on authority to talk about flags, seeing he owns a shop that sells them, and B, he's in the US. I didn't think it would be completely the best that if some Brit sits and talks about the US flag and politics without having somebody else in there. So so I did an interview with him. So he appears a short version, which is purely about that, and then I've put the entire interview as well, for those who want to sit and listen to him. And he's got a lot of thoughts and ideas and opinions about that particular subject and the US flag in general. Excuse me. So that was Michael, which was great. As I say, I've been watching on and off his videos, and obviously watching his shop grow since the pandemic. As he says, he started the Flags for Good as a flag shop in his front living room, on his own, just filling in time. And now he's got a shop in forget it's there. Anyway, he's got a shop now with 4 or 5 employees as well. So in 5 years, he's done pretty well for himself in the world of flags and selling. So that was that. Last Friday, I had the pleasure of running a short flag quiz for a group of very intelligent and talented children that Cara from TikTok's Flaggy Fridays. If you haven't met her or found her on TikTok yet, then she's worth a visit. She also does very short videos about flags and covers those. But on a Friday, she does a live stream, um, with a group of children, um, and just they have flag quizzes and what have you. And I was invited to do last week's, and with the quiz that I think I managed to bamboozle them once, oddly enough, with the Bedfordshire flag. That was the only one that they didn't recognise. But it was a great laugh for the half hour that I managed to get in to try and crowbar it all in with the rest of work. So, but it was good to actually meet Cara. I've been following her on and off now for a couple of months now when I found her, which was great. So yes, Flaggy Fridays on TikTok, if you find her. She's Scottish, so just bear with the language barrier on that one. But no, that's great. And finally, take another sip. Scotland. Did I? It's in there somewhere. Anyway, finally, the reason we didn't have a live stream last month at the end of October was because I was in Oslo. Why was I in Oslo? Now, let me explain. I will do in a minute, but just to remind people that if you do say hello in the chat, it's there. It'd be great to hear from you, especially from where you are, or what your favourite flags are, or any recent flags that you've seen flying randomly outside. Then do just drop them in the chat. It'd be great, and we'll get that rolling as well. So Oslo, I went there at the end of October, which I normally wouldn't have done. But that was purely to meet up with Flagged for Content host, and here's his flag there. If any of you actually listen to his podcast, Flagged for Content, his YouTube channel, and Spotify, various other audio places. Anyway, we managed to get to meet in person while I gate crashed his honeymoon. That will amuse my father. So yes, him and his new wife are traveling, or were traveling around Europe, of which then sort of may have invited myself along to only a little proportion to their honeymoon. But also Frederic, who lives in Oslo as well, who's also a flag nerd. And again, if you're on Instagram, you probably would see various bits and pieces of him as well. So it was great to catch up with physically to 2 people that I've been interacting and chatting with about flags for many years, and it was great. So, and while Andy and I were together, of course, we did a bit of filming. All of that will appear in the future and will start to make a bit more sense nearer the time of what I've managed to get him involved in and roped him into doing for me, because it was an opportunity not to be missed to have that. So that's an exclusive there. So he will surprisingly appear somewhere. Is Milton Keynes festooned with England flags? It's that's from my papa. So it's on and off, especially around here. There are certain lampposts in and around with England flags flying. So just to put that into context for the wider stream, recently, over the past couple of months, should I say, the folks of England, mostly England, have started putting the England flag and a few of the Union flag as well, or Union Jack. We're allowed to use both terms. Hanging them on lampposts. It originally started because on a culture day in a school, I forget which county, it wasn't Bedfordshire, they were doing a culture day, and one particular student turned up dressed in red, white and blue with Union flag dress and everything on that she was wearing. And I think she was told it was a bit too cultural for their liking. And it caused a bit of a merry hell in the country. And following that, people have started flying England flags or St George's flags everywhere and painting them on mini roundabouts as well. And it all got rather quite yeah, over the top. So yes, there are various England flags flying around. I do pass a few of them to from work as well. There's a roundabout, a mini roundabout that I have to drive around that has now a faded red cross painted on the white roundabout. It's yes. However, the councils now are trying to put up Christmas lights on all of these lampposts, but can't because the flags are there. So now there's a bit of a war going on stating we can't put Christmas lights up until whoever put the flags up takes them back down again. So it's all getting quite feverish on that one. I sit back and find it just quite amusing, probably for the wrong reasons, but there we go. That's so yes, there are many flags flying on lampposts at the moment. They are battered and worn now because they're these. To be fair, these cheap and cheerful material, which is what most of my flags are, and they're not designed to be hung outside constantly. Put them up for a day or two, that's fine, but leave them out, they'll fray in no time and fade, and they're not designed to. I think I've got a few flags here that will stand the test of time, but most of these ones is just not going to last long at all. Anyway, that was a very long answer to a very plain and simple question. Um, so, yes, Andy Richardson, if you haven't checked him out already, then do so. Flagged for Content. He does a podcast. He's trying to do twice monthly. Hasn't done recently because, as I say, he's been on his honeymoon. So I think we can forgive him for that. But I'm sure he'll get back in very quickly. Right. Okay. Yes, that is cold. Right. Okay. Let's move on for the main features. So the 28th of is Bedfordshire Day in the UK county of Bedfordshire, and so that's why I wanted to briefly talk about this particular flag, and we'll go in a bit more detail. If there's any of you here in the UK, it'd be great to know what you're from as well, because I think every English county has a flag. The vast majority of Scottish counties have a flag. Same with Wales. Um, but I don't think Northern Ireland does. If I've got that wrong, please tell me. But yes, every England old county has this. This here is if I just stand out the way a little bit here, spin this round, and I can try and stay out of shot and pretend that I'm not reading because oddly enough, I don't know all the full details off the top of my head. So this is the sorry, Bedfordshire flag, which is, as you can see, is quartered into four. That's what quartered usually mean. Um, so the colours, the yellow-red colour schemes, it's made up of a couple of different families. So the red and yellow is taken from a Beauchamp family who were very prominent in Bedfordshire many years ago, during the Norman conquest, in fact. And the Beauchamp family built the castle in Bedfordshire, in Bedford town. That's where it is now, anyway. Sadly, there's no remains left of the castle except a road named after it called Castle Road in Bedford, and there's a mound. That's all that's left of the castle. Anyway, the Beauchamp family helped build that during the Norman conquest. Beauchamp is a French word. Beau meaning beautiful. Champ, beautiful fields is. So, anyway, that's a pub quiz. You can take that. So that's the colour scheme of the red and yellow. The black stripe with the scallops, that's taken from a Duke of Bedford from the Russell family. Again, another prominent noble family in the county. We'll come back to that in a minute because the scallops, as my father will tell you, Bedford and Bedfordshire is probably one of the furthest counties from the ocean you come across in England. You can't get much further away from the sea than Bedfordshire. And here we are with shells on its flag. But we'll come back to that in a moment. There's a reason why that is a thing. The horizontal wavy line through the middle is the main river that runs through the county, specifically through Bedford itself, which is the Great River Ouse. It's a great name. So that's what that represents there as well. So there's a lot of history and a lot of geography going on in this particular flag. Uh, Now, there's a there's an extra bit of history of where this flag comes from. Stay with me. A bit of history lesson for you here. So, um, where are we? Bedfordshire County Council, as was given a banner of arms by the College of Arms in 1951, which was very similar to this, but not completely. So, the county council, so um, every county in England and the rest of the UK had a sort of a administration council group that used to look after them. They still do, but it's very different. But Bedfordshire County Council, as isn't anymore, had a shield which is very similar to this. The shells were slightly different in shape, and the only other change was the river, still wavy, still the same colours. But what they've done on the river for the flag is, if you've noticed, they've swapped blue and white, white and blue on either side. So the original shield the Bedfordshire Council used to have was this way round, but that would meant that the white came up to touch the yellow and the dark blue touched the red, which didn't look right. It sort of bled into the yellow anyway, the white. So for the flag version, they flipped the colours of the river. There you see, it's all in the detail. It's all in the minute detail. Anyway, so this flag only dates back to 2014 after all that. So that's how long we've had that. And the Friends of Bedfordshire are the ones that pushed for this back in. And here it is today, which is fab. And I've covered all of that. It's a 3:5 ratio, like the vast majority of flags. And yeah, you've got to make sure you fly it the right way round. So the shell facing downwards, mine is the right way round to fly the flag. So it always needs to be the canton. I've seen a few of it fly the other way around because the shells look like they should be facing the other way. There we go. Because Bedfordshire County Council ceased as an entity years ago, we've now got Central Bedfordshire and Bedford Borough Council. So the county itself, the county council itself doesn't exist. So the flag is an old style Bedfordshire. It doesn't belong specifically to any particular group or society. It's a civic and a community symbol, which means that any local, anybody, any council, any private business, they can all fly the flags without any issue at all. So that's what that's covering there. Why the 28th of November is Bedfordshire Day? That's because it's the birthday of a chap called John Bunyan, who was born in 1628 this day. And he was an English writer, and his most famous book is the Pilgrim's Progress, amongst various other bits and pieces. And talking of pilgrims, that's why we need to go back to the escallops down the middle. The escallops, which is a heraldic term, or a heraldic symbol, should I say, goes back to medieval times. Well, we 11th to 13th centuries. Again, stick with me on the history lesson on this one. It's all flag related, so and it used to be that people used to do pilgrims in Spain, if I've got that right, used to collect the shells, the escallop shells, as a sign that they've been on these, and then knights would collect them and add them to their suits of armour and what have you. So it was a sign of pilgrims. And the was it the Russell family that I mentioned earlier were also very prominent pilgrims. They went on pilgrims, which is why the shells associated with the whole pilgrim part in heraldry form anyway. And that's why they appear on the Bedfordshire flag. It's the link to the family, as well as obviously, as I just mentioned, Pilgrim's Progress, as written by John Bunyan. So there's a bit of an author's attachment to that flag as well. So that's why there's what looks like seashells in this county, where you couldn't get further away from the beach if you tried. So there we go. That's That's the English lesson. Right. Yes, the tea is really cold now. I'm not going to finish that. You're always breaking up. Oh, do you know, I keep suggest you go to the glass. Oh, no, 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 I will not. Just maybe if I potentially turn the audio off, maybe, and then, well, on the mic, it should revert back to something slightly different. I wonder if what it's down there. Anyway, I don't know if that helps. Just taking it off a bit sometimes means that it doesn't glitch quite so often. Mm, right, I think I've covered everything to do with Bedfordshire anyway, and it's flag, which is what the main topic is, what we were after anyway. So that was that was pretty much everything I wanted to cover. It's the flag. That's what we were here for. As I say, if there's anything else you want to chat about, then do, because otherwise we're going to start wrapping up shortly. So if there's anything you want to call out, anything you want to ask, state and get in now, because otherwise we're going to fall out and run out of time if we're not careful. What I would like to say is a thank you to YouTube members. So I've got a membership piece on YouTube now. I've got a few members on there, so thank you to those who have joined up. It's greatly appreciated. There's more extras to come on that. If for those on that, if any of you aren't members, then I'll put some details in the description for that, so you can find out what the membership is and how you can join up and all that other good stuff as well, and get involved in that. And yes, there's always extras on that will no help at all. Is it not? Okay. What about if I wonder if it either now I'm completely silent, or the default mic has kicked in completely. There's one way for me to find out, because I can just click this button here and do that. See if it's actually saying anything. Oh, yes. So you can hear me. So I'll just keep talking loudly, so you can hear me now. And hopefully that's not working. Anyway, right. So where was I? Bit here. So yes. Now, because obviously family members are exempt from winning flags, because that would just be now, Mitta, remind me if you're still with us. If you haven't already performed, that's great. But if you haven't got the flag already, then I'll get this flag to you. So if you haven't missed it already, please fill in the form at the top of the chat, just so I can reach out to you. Because you've got involved as well with the chat, then I'll get a flag on its way to you. So just make sure that's there. Your audio is breaking up. I can barely understand you. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Talking loudly helps. Stay okay. Right. Okay. We're going to wrap it up here anyway. But Mitta, yes, do fill it for me if you haven't. I'll be back on the 26th of whatever that is, December. Hope we'll catch up with then. So, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll do it all again next month. And don't forget to look out for some more of the 50 places videos as well. So, until then, I shall bid you farewell. I shall go and make another cup of tea, and until then, be seeing you